Hi, I'm Jessica Day George, and I am the New York Times bestselling author of 15, almost 16 books for teen and middle grade readers. And I am here in my office today to answer some of your questions. And this is where I write a lot of my books, or do most of my writing. And I'm gonna have a little look around the office here. I have a lot of books. These are only some special favorites, as well as my middle grade and young adult collection. There are pretty much bookcases in every room, including having a whole cupboard full of just cookbooks in the kitchen upstairs. But we are down in a basement in the Lair of Solitude, or whatever that thing is called for Superman, whatever. Anyway, but I've been getting your questions, and so I am going to answer some of those now. We have Lena, who asked, what is the most mind-blowing book you've ever read? I don't know how to answer that, really. I have read a lot of books where I was just like, oh, that was so great, that was so cool, or books where, you know, they made me want to do something different or be a different person or something like that. But I have to say, as far as reading a book as an author and thinking, I didn't know you could do that, I can't believe you just did that, that was amazing, I will go with Red Rising by Pierce Brown. These are mistakenly put out as young adult or even younger books. They really, really aren't. They pretty much are for adults, but he does something in about the first 50 pages of this book that most authors would take an entire trilogy to do, and so that's why I'm going with Red Rising today for that question, Lena. Samantha asks, what keeps you writing? What keeps me writing is just having a story to tell. I'll come up with an idea and be like, okay, I've just got to tell that story, and I will write it down, and I just keep going no matter what else is going on because I want to finish that story. And so that was a nice easy question. Thanks, Samantha. We have Lewis M, or possibly Louis. What are your favorite books you read as a teen you want people to read right now? Oh yeah, I love this question. So I picked out some good ones. Favorite books of mine when I was a teen. This Place Has No Atmosphere by Paula Danziger. Written in the early 80s about a girl who goes to live in the moon colony in the 21st century. By the way, she predicts AirPods, hypercolor clothing and mood clothing, as well as people with that like haircut where one side of their head is shaved and the other side is like dyed pink. Totally predicted that. Awesome. Tamlin by Pamela Dean, one of my all-time favorites, about a girl who goes to college in the Midwest in the 1970s, as Pamela herself did, and discovers that the whole English department is pretty much the fairy court and Shakespeare's actors and all these things. It's super cool. Love that book to pieces. This is actually, speaking of loving it to pieces, this is my second copy. The first copy did not survive to grow up with me. It's in pieces. Power of One, also not my first copy, probably my third or fourth, mostly because I keep giving these away to people and then they don't give them back. But I like this cover, so I'm not going to loan this one out. But The Power of One is an excellent story about a boy growing up just post-World War II in South Africa. It is shockingly not fantasy or sci-fi. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Such good books, such good series. I think actually my favorite is So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, but it's the fourth one, so start with this one. Terry Brooks is mostly known for his Sword of Shannara books, which are great, excellent, but Magic Kingdom for Sale, I feel like is totally overlooked. This guy opens up this expensive, you know, fancy catalog that has, you know, gold-plated bathtubs and things like that, and there's a Magic Kingdom for sale. And so just to be funny, he buys it, and it turns out it's real. Love this book. There are sequels, they're great too, but this first one is just fabulous. And of course, Dune, the best book. Read this for the first time when I was 13. This is my very expensive, fancy, fully illustrated, annotated copy that my dear husband and cameraman got me a couple of years ago. Absolutely a favorite. If you're over the age of, I would say, 14 and have not yet read Dune yet, do yourself a favor, read Dune. So, thank you for that question, Lewis. Yes. Jenny C. asks, a very important question for right now. When the libraries are closed, where do you go for books? What do? You can you can buy books if that's not an option, but I am recommending that people, local bookstores, independent bookstores especially, are really struggling right now, but most of them are offering either free or reduced shipping or curbside service, which I think sounds so fun. I'm dying to try it. I'm gonna go try it at the King's English sometime this week, where you can just order your book over the phone, pull up, and they'll hand it through the window of your car. I wanna do it so bad, it just seems so fun. It's like getting a hamburger, but you get a book. But the libraries are still online. Every library system I know of offers an online service. There's Libby, there's Overdrive. Those are both for ebooks. Ours also has, the Salt Lake County system uses what's called RB Digital, which are all audiobooks. So it's the same as a library book. It is free. You get the app for free, and you can check out ebooks and audiobooks and return them online. You can put them on wish lists, the whole thing, and it's free. And every library I know offers that. So that is great, and the libraries are still running online. Rebecca W., whose mom was my roommate at college, might I add. Rebecca asks, are any of my characters in my books inspired by real people? Yes, but they're not the ones you think. Not the main characters or anything, because I think once you start to describe people in a book, they end up not being what you think, because you can't make a real person in your life, you know, do exactly what you want them to do, or you shouldn't be able to do that. So it's very hard to put a real person into a book as a main character. But Pippin was our dog at the time that I was writing the Dragon Slippers books, and so Pippin the dog in the Dragon Slippers books is based on my real dog, and those are some real things she did. And Azarte, who's one of the other dogs in Dragon Slippers, was based on my sister's dog that she had at the time. He was a Russian wolfhound, and Pippin was a Maltese. And also, though, one of my German professors makes a cameo in Princess of the Midnight Ball. Hans Wilhelm Kelling, who is the family doctor in Princess of the Midnight Ball, is a real-life person. He is a doctor, but a doctor of philosophy. He is a German professor at BYU. I believe he's still there. And he makes an appearance in Princess of the Midnight Ball. And I can always tell, I get emails from people all the time like, I took German ones at BYU. And I'm like, yep, it's him. That's him. But he doesn't know, so don't tell him. He's the only one I haven't told. Ari Rashke says, do you have a favorite type of thing to knit? Yay, knitting questions. I like to try new things. I'm not like really sold on any one things. I've made socks and hats and scarves and toys and all sorts of things. I like to get the little Moki Moki Land kits, and I have made little foxes and little Santa Clauses and things like that. And I have made myself a faux fox fur stole, and I'll try anything. I love to get knitting books and try different techniques. Right now I am just working on getting caught up on, this is a temperature blanket. It's an Afghan that each color represents a temperature here, like a high that we've had here in Salt Lake City. So you do it for the year, and there's basically 2 rows per day, and I broke them up how I wanted, like this is when it's in the 30s or below, and the gray is when it's in the 40s, and the green is the 50s. And so you can see we had like a little heat wave here, and it actually hit 70 the other day, and that's black. So I'm going to be doing that all year, but I was behind, and so I'm just getting caught up right now. So that's some stuff that I've knitted. I'll try anything. I have a book that I want to try this year and do a nativity scene, like you knit the little dolls and make the little nativity scene and stuff. So I'm going to try that next. Kush L asks, what kind of dog would Gandalf have? Gandalf is clearly a cat person. And I see him having like some sort of Maine Coon, to be honest. Heather H is our last question, and that is, which character is most fun to write? It's a double question, actually. Which character is the most fun to write? Prince Lulath of Grath is absolutely my favorite person to write. He went from being just some guy that was going to be in about 2 scenes in Tuesdays of the Castle to being a major character as the series went on, because I had so much fun writing his accent, which is based on the German actor who replaces Homer in the episode of The Simpsons where Homer is Mr. X. And somehow off of 2 sentences that guy said, I based the entire language of Grath, and had so much fun writing about Lulath with his 4 small dogs and his fancy clothes that he became a major character. Up until then, pretty much my favorite character was actually Fenuyl, the green dragon in the Dragon Slippers books, who is this huge, fire-breathing ancient dragon and is scared of everything. And that was really fun to write. And then she also asked, which character is the most like me? And that is definitely Seelie. Seelie in the Castle books is based on me at age 11, 12, and like her family is based on my family. She's got the 3 older siblings, 2 brothers and a sister, and except you know, her oldest brother is a wizard and my oldest brother is a truck driver, so we're a little bit different, but definitely like her personality is based on my personality at that age. So anyway, there are some questions answered for you. If you send me more questions, I will definitely answer them. You can tweet at me at JessDayGeorge. You can get onto Facebook on my author page and ask me questions. And if you want to see what I'm reading right now, I'm going to try and keep my Instagram, which is also JessDayGeorge. I'm going to try and keep that up where I post a picture of everything I'm reading. And anyway, everybody stay in your homes and keep your hands washed, okay? Stay safe. Thanks.